All right, let's talk about Arboliva. It is the final evolution of Smoliv. It is a grass normal type, and it's got a very interesting stat breakdown. It's got base 78 HP, base 90 defense, base 125 special attack, base 109 special defense, and then as far as attack and speed go, we don't really care about those. It's got base 69 attack and base 39 speed. This thing is slow. It's also basically a grass type with one extra weakness to fighting and one extra immunity to ghost. Other than that, it's basically a pure grass type. It's weak to bug, it's weak to fire, it's weak to poison, it's weak to flying, it's weak to ice. I think I got them all. But anyways, yeah. Other than that, it's just got the added extra weakness to fighting. So Arboliva, I'm gonna mess this up and I'm gonna call it Arbolvia or something like that at some point. But anyways, I think it's Arboliva. We got bulky stats. We are slow. Trick Room is a thing. The speed doesn't matter too much. This thing has a variety of tools in its kit. It gets access to both reflect. It gets reflect. It gets light screen. So basically, we can increase our physical defense and special defense. Like we can do that under Trick Room. But before we get into any actual movesets, let's talk about the abilities. Arboliva's main ability, Seed Sower, sets grassy terrain the minute it takes a hit. So it's no Rillaboom with grassy surge, but we can get our terrain up repeatedly, which is almost better in a sense, especially whereas we have the bulky stats. Our defense and special defense are higher than our HP, but that's okay. Grassy terrain gives us back 1/16 of our HP. Coincidentally, so did leftovers. So I did run some numbers, and to basically not waste any extra points because this game doesn't round down or round up decimals, we really just need 180 EVs into HP, and then we get 11 points back from grassy terrain. We also get 11 points back from leftovers. So that's just a magic number right there for our HP calcs. Anything else, the number just divides down to 11 with a decimal. So that's really the best we're going to get with base 78 HP is 176 for our grassy terrain and potential leftovers recovery. Going back into some of the moves that our Arboliva gets, we get access to Strength Sap, which is amazing. It heals our HP based off of the target's attack stat. It lowers the target's attack by one stage as well. This made Galarian Corsola really bulky after having the Eviolite on it in Sword and Shield as well. It's a great move. It's one of my favorite moves. I used Galarian Corsola with this. So I'm excited to try out Arboliva later on. In terms of other moves, we get Dazzling Gleam. That's great fairy coverage. It's a spread move. It's base 80 damage. We have Earth Power, base 90, single target ground type move, 10% chance of lowering the target's special defense one stage. We get Encore, which forces the target into repeating the same move that it just used last. And because this isn't a prankster, we could use it on pranksters. Like, say, maybe we're going up against Prankster Murkrow. It just set Tailwind. Well, we just encored it and forced it into Tailwind for 3 turns in a row. Or it just has to switch out. Garganackle is a thing. It likes to use Iron Defense to increase the defense stat before going for body presses. We can lock Garganackle into Iron Defenses. Let's see. We have Encore. We have Energy Ball. Great grass type stab. Giga Drain. Another means of getting recovery. Grass Knot. The heavier the target, the more damage this thing does. Hyper Voice, there's some normal type stab. If you want to throw, like, say, a throat spray on this thing, we could get a special attack boost. Leaf Storm, just a grass type nuke. Leech Seed, we'll talk about this later, but Leech Seed is nice. It's also 1/8 of the target's HP, which can be nice for getting HP back. Memento, it's a self-sacrificing move. It's there. It cuts attack and special attack of the target by 2. We don't really want this one on Arboliva, though, so we're not going to focus on that. There's my favorite move right there in Strength Sap. We get Weather Ball. Weather Ball is fun, depending on if we want to run a Trick Room team. Torkoal is pretty nice on Trick Room. It's at Sun. There's some potential fire type coverage that we can go. And then we get Charm. We can cut the target's attack by 2 without taking ourselves out, which is nice. We get Growth if the Sun's on the field. We get a boost to our attack and special attack by 2 if the Sun's on the field. Helping Hand, great support move to help a partner in doubles. Pollen Puff, base 90 bug type damage. If you use it on your partner, it heals them instead. Great move for doubles. Safeguard, protects the party from status for 5 turns. Terrain Pulse, because we're setting grassy terrain with our ability, we could potentially use it. If we're maybe, say, in a different series down the road when Paradox Mons are allowed, the Paradox Mons from Violet all benefit from having electric terrain on the field. Terrain Pulse could be nice too. Potential electric coverage, the same way how Weather Ball would be potential fire coverage for us. We could do that. So this thing has really good things in its kit. Also, I forgot to mention too, our other ability is Harvest. So basically, we can get a berry back at the end of the turn potentially, and if Sun is on the field, we're guaranteed to get it back. That could be good if we're running a Citrus Berry, because, you know, that gives us back a quarter of her HP. The options with Arboliva are... we got a lot of options. Let's just put it that way. That's kind of the whole point of going through all those moves. If we wanted to go with Light Screen Reflect on Arboliva, we could go Light Clay to stretch that out to 8 turns. We could do that. We could also go maybe Strength Sap or Leech Seed for some recovery back on this thing. And then we could go for a damaging move. Let's say maybe we can go Hyper Voice. Or no, let's not put Hyper Voice on this potentially. Let's do like Earth Power. And maybe we can even go Terra Ground if we wanted to. Just for the sake of using Earth Power on here. What I was thinking too was we can go either... I mean, really, as far as natures go, the options are there too. We can go Bold, which would jump us up to 121 defense without any investment. We can go Calm, which would boost us up to 141 special defense. We can go Modest, if I can see Modest on here. There we go. That would be 159. If we're running Trick Room, we would want to run Sassy, Relaxed, or Quiet instead of the attack lowering ones, because we're really slow at base 39 speed. Which really, now that I'm thinking about it, let's check to see where Amoonguss falls on this. Amoonguss is base 30, so we're not that much slower than an Amoonguss, which is good to know. So what I was thinking too, if we wanted to do like a bulky offensive slash support Arboliva, we can go Strength Sap. We can go Energy Balls or Giga Drain, depending on whether you want an additional form of recovery in the form of Giga Drain for less power, or just straight damage with Energy Ball. We could do that. We could have Protect to try to get a little bit more recovery out between our leftovers and grassy terrain. We would be effectively getting back 22 points of HP if we have both leftovers and grassy terrain on the field at the same time. We can go Bug to do super effective damage on dark and psychic types, as well as opposing grass. We can heal our partners as well. In terms of EVs, what I was thinking, we can go for a Modest Arboliva with almost max investment into special attack to hit that 190. 108 defense just to try to patch up our defense to get it closer to where our special defense is. We have our magic number of 180 as far as HP goes. We could do something like that. We could do a potential stall / support with strength sap to lower the target's attack stat while additionally getting our HP back. We can go leech seed, we can go helping hand, we can put a damaging move in here. For this one, maybe we'll just throw dazzling gleam on here, which wouldn't be too bad. Because this is borderline taunt bait, I have a mental herb on this one as well. And then what I was thinking too, we can go bold. Don't really care too much about the special attack investment with this one, because this one's more of a pure bulk / stall idea. So what I was thinking, 140 special defense puts us up to 147 points. 188 with that bold nature also puts us up to 147. So we have the exact same amount of defenses. We could slide it one way or the other, focus more on a special or a physical side if we really wanted to. That was something I was thinking. We could even do something, for example, like say, lower it down so that we can get like max investment. We could do like 139, 156. We could do something like that. We could even just switch them up. Switch this to calm. Even then, we still have more points than a max invested defense stat. But that was something I was thinking. Arboliva could also go maybe. Oh, we could go maybe throat spray. We could go throat spray, hyper voice. From here, what I was also thinking too, we could potentially go Terra Normal. And normally you wouldn't gain any super effective hits from going Terra Normal, but you would be losing multiple weaknesses in exchange for only a fighting weakness and one ghost type immunity. Because we have bulky stats, that's not necessarily a bad thing. We could go Terra Grass to keep our immunity to powder moves like Rage Powder, Spore, because we are still slower than Amoonguss under Trick Room, so we do have to keep that in mind. But we could go Terra Normal or Terra Grass. If we go Terra Normal, now we're basically 180 Hyper Voice after Stab, and then we get our Throat Spray. We could go with that and get a special attack boost. What we could do too is we could go Terra Steel with Arboliva and then have something with Bulldoze, which let's just take a quick look to see what we get for Bulldoze users. In Scarlet and Violet, we get Annihilate with base 90, Baxcalibur, Breloom. If we're under Trick Room, Clodsire gets it. And Clodsire is slower than Amoonguss, so we could, in theory, if we had Trick Room up, we could have Clodsire go Bulldoze onto a Terra Steel Arboliva with a weakness policy. We could do that. And then the bonus to that is Seed Sower would then set grassy terrain as well, so we'd still get a little bit of HP back. And we'd get a speed drop, so now we're really going fast under Trick Room. So that is something we could do. I'll just get this filter back up again for Bulldoze. Dondozo gets it. Dondozo's slow. Not as slow as Amoonguss. If we're outside of Trick Room and we're just doing that with Bulldoze, we could potentially do it with a fast Bulldoze user. I'm just trying to find a fast Bulldoze user. Yeah, let's see. I mean, Lycanroc. Lycanroc's 112. That said, probably not the fastest thing. Also, I don't remember hitting Tauros, but Tauros is 110. Let's get the Paldean Tauros up, though. Because Paldean Tauros is a little bit slower than Arboliva, but you could do that, too. You could go Paldean Tauros with Bulldoze on a Terra Steel Arboliva. And what I was thinking, too, is Steel type has very limited weaknesses. We're weak to fire, ground, and fighting, which is pretty nice. actually, the more I'm thinking about it too, with Intimidate off Tauros, a lot of fighting types tend to be physical attack heavy, so Intimidate's not that bad to have as a potential support ability from your partner, especially if you're going for bulldoze to set off a weakness policy. So that is food for thought. Let's just take a quick look here, see what else. If we had sand on the field, Houndstone, we get Sand Rush. 68 speed times 2, that's not too bad. Same with Beartic. If we had a snow team, 50 isn't that bad once we have Slush Rush on the field. Arboliva wouldn't mind having Rain as well on the field because, Rain would reduce fire if you're going with Terra Steel or Terra Grass. You're weakening another weakness, but in the form of fire. You're weakening fire type moves with having the Rain on the field, which is nice. Let's see. Gyarados 81. That's not too bad. Hydreigon is 98. I'm not really seeing that many fast Bulldoze users, but anyways, you could also just rely on something that's a bit bulky too, setting off Bulldoze, because like I said, Arboliva is not that fast, but yeah, I'm not seeing anything else. Anyways, guys, that was another idea that I was thinking too, is weakness policy, Terra Steel, Arboliva, and who knows, maybe if you have Arboliva already on the field and you already have grassy terrain, that's even better because Bulldoze gets weakened by grassy terrain too. So you could do that too. Arboliva, to basically wrap this up, has a lot in its kit. It can be run as support. It can be run as a bulky Trick Room attacker. Even outside of Trick Room, it still potentially could be a bulky attacker, but it would probably thrive a bit better under Trick Room. It gets Weather Ball, so if you're running Torkoal, you can get potential fire coverage. You could go Terra Fire too and go with Fire type Terra Blast, but I really like Grass, Steel, and Normal for Terra types with Arboliva, because really with Normal and Steel, there's a very limited pool of weaknesses, but Steel does have a lot more resistances to Normal. We can go with Weakness Policy, we can go Throat Spray. For offensive items, we could go on the defensive side with Citrus Berry to get back a quarter of our HP when we hit half. We can go with Light Clay if we want to run dual screens. Even if we wanted to just run Light Screen and then run Strength Sap next to each other, they can be pretty good. But yeah, Arboliva just has a lot going for it, and I'm really excited to try it out. So hopefully you guys are too. I will see you guys next time.